Yishaq had entreated Yahweh for Ribqah his woman, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Ribqah his woman conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And Yahweh said to her,
2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 peoples shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the older shall serve the younger.
And the first came forth red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came forth his brother, and his hand had hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Yaakov. And Yishaq was 60 years old when she bare them, and the boys grew. Now Yishaq loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, and Ribqah loved Yaakov. And Esau sold his birthright to Yaakov, so Esau disesteemed his birthright. Bereshith, Genesis, chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Yishaq went to Abimelech, king of the Pelishtim, to Gerar. And Yahweh appeared to him, and said,
Go not down into Mithraim. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For to thee and to thy seed I will give all these lands, and I will establish the oath which I swore to Abraham thy father. And I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the skies, and will give to thy seed all these lands, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commands, my statutes, and my laws. And Yishaq dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his woman, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, My woman, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Ribqah, because she was fair to look upon. And it was, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Pelishtim, looked out at the window and saw, and behold, Yishaq was sporting with Ribqah his woman. And Abimelech called Yishaq and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy woman. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? And Yishaq said to him, Because I said, lest I die because of her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done to us? One of the people might easily have lain with thy woman, and thou wouldst have brought culpability upon us. And Abimelech charged all the people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his woman shall surely be put to death. And Yishaq sowed in that land, and found in the same year 100-fold, and Yahweh blessed him. And the man became great, and grew more and more, until he became very great. And he had possessions of flocks, and possessions of herds, and a great household, and the Pelishtim envied him. Now all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father,
the police team had stopped and filled with earth. And Abimelech said to Yishak, "Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we." And Yishak departed thence, and encamped in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Yishak digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Pelishtim had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Yishak's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdsmen of Gerar strove with Yishak's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." And he called the name of the well Eshek, because they contended with him. And they digged another well, and they strove for that also. And he called the name of it Shitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well. And for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, "For now Yahweh hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And Yahweh appeared to him the same night, and said,
I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake.
And he built an altar there, and called upon the name of Yahweh, and pitched his tent there. And there Yishak's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahozath his friend, and Pichol the captain of his host. And Yishak said to them, "For what reason are ye come to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you?" And they said, "We saw plainly that Yahweh was with thee. And we said, Let there now be an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done to thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of Yahweh." And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and swore an oath one to another, and Yishak sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it was the same day that Yishak's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said to him, "We have found water." And he called it Shaba'ah. Therefore the name of the city is called Beersheba to this day. And when Esau was 40 years old, he took for a woman Yehudith, the daughter of Beeri the Chetti, and Bashemat, the daughter of Hilon the Chetti. And they became a bitterness of spirit to Yishak and to Rebekah.